Hey, it's Cait from Strange Grooves. Or is it? We're missing Charisse tonight, and we really miss her. But we've got some really great guests with us tonight. Mantis. Thank you guys so much for coming all the way to St. John.
Yeah.
And joining us today for an interview before the show.
That's right.
Are you guys tired? Are you good? Are you excited to play?
We are well rested now.
Well rested,
yeah.
Pumped to play, yeah.
And as you might have found out, our shows don't really play that late, so we're really stoked for the early shows. You'll probably see lots of folks coming out. So you've been in town a couple nights.
One night.
One night, yeah. And where did you get to go to last night?
Not Subway.
Not Subway. Okay, yeah. Well, we found out that's the only choice you can pretty much eat.
Yeah, we got Rockies.
St. John.
We got Rockies, yeah.
Rockies,
It took us
nice.
like half an hour to
Rockies
find the
first.
place,
But you found it.
we
and
found it, yeah. Pretty close at 11.
Nice. So for those who might be watching, where are you guys from?
Mississauga.
Yeah.
It's a suburb city of Toronto. It's part of the greater Toronto area, but it's its own thing. But we tell most people Toronto because, do you know what Mississauga is, being all the way here in St.
Yes.
John? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then we're from Mississauga.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. We're always like, do you know where St. John is? Because most people would know like Moncton or where like Nova Scotia, like Halifax, but nobody really knows St. John.
Yeah.
But so that's
we
nice.
did. So
Did you guys all meet there or
We all live there.
Y'all live there, yeah.
born and raised?
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. And what kind of music do you guys play for those that may not have listened and that should go to your show tonight?
We've been framed as horny math rock.
Yeah.
Also do instrumental horn-fronted jazz fusion.
There it is. I like that.
That's usually my pitch. That's my elevator pitch because people like horn-fronted and they like horny things.
Yeah.
And we got both. And I don't know if we are real jazz fusion. I don't really know what we are. And it's very difficult to find bands that sound like us, at least ones that are big enough for kind of the general public to understand what we're talking about. But we just go with jazz fusion. Yeah.
And how long have you guys been playing?
I think it's about 3 years.
2.5 to 3
Yeah.
years.
Actually,
Yeah.
we used to
Coming up
jam,
on 3 years.
but it was just
yeah.
the three of us, like Mike, myself, and Carmen.
For like half a
We
year.
were jamming for half a year, but we needed another play just to fill in the gap, and then we got Derek after a year. That's when we really knew we wanted to make this, serious. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And now since you guys have been, probably running a pretty tight ship with like horns and so many different pieces in your music, what's on the horizon for you guys?
Finishing up tour, and then we really just want to start writing again.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. Like every time we try to, there's like a show coming up. So like we just want to focus on just that for a while.
Maybe even release an EP. Just put something out
Yeah.
and keep doing what we have to do. Yeah.
And how often do you tour like throughout places that aren't
We
like
never have before.
Oh, so this is
This
first
the
time.
first,
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats.
First time.
Thanks.
It's a lot.
Yeah, because we, if you go on tour and you don't have any music released, probably wasting your time because, even if people discover you, they can't go, further enjoy your music.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were really waiting to have something out, and that happened to take, 2 years to do because we did kind of writing for a year and then refining for another full year. The album just dropped in February, and we decided a couple months ago all of our work schedules kind of worked out that we could piss off for a little while, so that's what we did.
That's pretty cool. Do you mind if I ask what you guys do for work?
Sure.
Curious.
Start down the line.
I'm a data analyst project coordinator.
Cool.
Jazz fusion.
It's not
Jazz
that
fusion.
Jazz fusion down
Some jazz
play
fusion.
Coordinator.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm a music teacher. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I teach drums and piano, do some band stuff. I'm also working with another project. It's more gent metal than anything, really, and this is my other project. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And is it available yet, or just in the?
No, it's in the process. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you have to keep
Writing with
us-
one of
keep
my
us
buddies.
updated.
Yeah.
I want to know.
For sure.
I'll be
Yeah.
pestering you.
Notes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got kind of a list here. I was an assistant manager at this Polish grocery store called Starsky, which is in Mississauga. And I just quit, actually right before we left, a week before. 'Cause I was there for 6.5 years, and I got shafted like crazy. So I just kind of left that behind, and then right before I left,
That's good. Good for you.
I got a new job at this popular restaurant called Jack Astor's.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Never
Yeah.
gotten to go to it because we don't have
Yeah, I
it
guess it's more of like a
here.
GTA thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if they have it here.
No.
But yeah, I got a job there now, and I'll start when I get back. And then I also do gigs. I have another like cover band, and I play mainly baritone sax in that band. It's a lot of like 80s and funk, like Stevie Wonder and all that kind of stuff. So it's an occasional thing I do. But yeah.
Cool.
I am transitioning out of my short-lived voice acting hand model career, which isn't as cool as it sounds. And I was doing this for a vaporizer company for about a year, and I'm transitioning into less fun sales job with a
We're gonna have to back up
large
because
tool
now I'm
company.
intrigued
Yeah, you
about
gotta
how
get back
you
to that.
go
I
back.
was debating just going straight to the
Nope.
sales thing, but
Hell no,
this
you
is
can't
okay.
leave that part.
Okay,
That's part
so
of the legacy now.
so I had I had no idea what I was doing with my life, and I searched up voice actor on Indeed.ca. Go to Indeed.ca for jobs, and voice actor. And this is one position. All they wanted was a sample of my voice, so I put on my best like radio voice, and I just read like something from their website. And yeah, like a resume wasn't really required, and I just kind of got in, and then I ended up being like hand modeling part is because on the videos I'm like handling the units to like demo them and review them and stuff. So it's very intimate on the hands. So they would like make sure I got manicures every week and stuff like that. It was serious.
That is
It was
amazing.
serious. But the funny thing is, and the ironic part about it is, as a musician, your hands are naturally going to look awful and calloused and everything. So it really didn't work out. It was a lot of
It's
stress.
Like, no, Mike,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to be in the band.
Yeah, really.
Stay in.
Yeah, for real. It would happen a lot. Like, or I'd just be playing drums for fun, and I'd like cut my finger open, and that's it. Video production's screwed for like a week.
So you're transitioning into sales.
So yeah, so I wanted a
Less
job
fun,
where, you know,
Very much so.
yeah, so now I'm just doing sales for a very large hand tools and accessories company.
Okay, so you're
Global
into
company.
hands. Hands are part of your
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
less so now, but yeah, hand tools, yeah. Hand models to hand tools. Yeah, anyways.
That's good. That's pretty unique.
That's my thing.
That's cool. So I just want to ask a little bit about where your musical influences came from.
I can say generally before we go all into it, it's kind of cool. Carmen and I were playing in a really whiny indie rock alternative band back in like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago together, and same instruments, and I was singing as well. And so the blend in kind of our sound, kind of how people describe us is exactly. Carmen and I kind of started more from like an alternative rock background, and Derek and Neil were more jazz people. You guys can go into more detail about, but that was it's kind of an even blend of alternative rock and jazz, and it kind of met somewhere in the middle, and a lot of post rock and math rock and all that kind of stuff between us. So yeah, you guys.
Well, I started off listening to metal music at first, and then also I started classical music before, and then I got really interested in drums, and then started getting into progressive rock, and by like 19 I started getting into jazz. I was like, why didn't I listen to this before? Suddenly it just clicked, right? And then went to jazz school, studied for a bit. Now I listen to everything actually, and whatever inspires me to play the instrument as the best it can possibly be. That's all I have to do is just listen to more music. So to me, it's not about the genre, it's more to do with context, basically, and how can I fit the different drum parts where in any situation I can play. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, my musical influences probably came. A lot of it was from my parents at first. Like they listened to a lot of classic rock and like Steely Dan, Supertramp, you know, those kind of jazz rock kind of fusion bands. So that was kind of cool. Like I always wanted to get into that. And also my dad was listening to a lot of Tower of Power, which is like an old soul R&B like big horn section band. So that's actually what really influenced me to get into saxophone. We'll go into depth later, I guess, about that. And then I started getting into jazz when I picked up sax, which was around, I think it was 16 or 17. And then, you know, you start listening to all the soloists like Charlie Parker and all the kind of John Coltrane and guys you kind of have to listen to learn and figure out where the best things are. So yeah, I don't know, I'm really open to like any genre. Even right now I'm starting to get into like a lot of like pop music and like stuff that I normally wouldn't listen to, but I'm just kind of thinking of it now like from like just like the way the song structure is and kind of analyzing that, and also like the studio effects that they use and whatnot, and reverbs and like layering and doubling and all that, because it's kind of, after we mixed our own album, it kind of like piqued my interest about how it's all put together. So.
And how was that experience?
Oh.
Will you be recording the next one or the EP on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He mixed it.
Because I mixed the album, right?
Yeah.
And that was a lot of work. Because we were all working, and then we would practice our instruments, come back to my house, and we would mix from like 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it was pretty
yeah.
Just wake up.
Work 7 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, I wish I could mix full time, but it's not possible. So that's why the album took a long time. Yeah. So I did this with my buddy Josh, where we studied at Metalworks together, and we did small projects. So it started when recorded my solo songs and stuff, and then I just did it for fun, just to get the idea of like how to record and mix stuff. And then once we graduated, I didn't meet him for I think a year or two, and then I was like, hey, you want to check out my band? Like, just come over to my house and see us play. And then he was like, hey man, I work at a studio, maybe can get together, and it worked out. Yeah. It was awesome. Recording, how many days did we take? Maybe
I think we all took about a weekend each.
Just 4 weekends.
11 days in total.
But then we had another extra weekend where we did like a few last minute like overdubs and stuff. And corrections.
Yeah.
Some of us wanted better takes on some things. So.
And what's funny was we didn't really plan how we were going to record, so we didn't use ClickTrack for most of the album, so we couldn't edit the way we wanted it to be, so the performance had to be tight. I think that was the hard part of the whole thing.
We went into it and recorded a lot of it with, a lot of the songs done and complete and polished. But I know especially with Carmen, like all of his takes looked a little bit different with improv. Neil kind of like just jammed to, there was a lot of kind of loose improvisation throughout it in small bits and pieces. And we went into it like we didn't care about that kind of stuff, and then we started mixing it like, I only like one of these 12 takes, and became very meticulous about it. And I think that's what was kind of the headache for Neil, but
but it worked.
Did a great job.
Yeah.
So to honor my friend Sharice, you're gonna hate this next question, but since she's not here, maybe I don't know if she's watching. Is she watching? Yay, Sharice, you're watching. Okay.
Thanks, Sharice.
So Sharice always asks the question: if you were to leave and have to go to a place for a really long time, or had a fire at your home, what is one album that you would take with you? Yeah, I apologize. We love you, Sharice, but she wants to know.
I already know, actually. You were playing it when I walked in, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy. Cool.
Steely Dan, The Royal Scan, I think. As a whole, like, that album is my favorite album of all time. Like, just like, it's 8 tracks, I think, 8 or 9, and like every single track is like straight perfection, and it just has like this vibe to it. I've never got this vibe off of like any album. It sounds like mafia music or something, and like someone's gonna die. Like every song is just like so badass sounding, and like the amount of musicians that Steely Dan gets into the studio to do like just like a solo on one track, and like the names on that album are just like mind-blowing.
Yeah, pretty good.
It's crazy, so that's probably my pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Broken Social Scene, You Forgot It in People. It's just a really stacked album. They do really good job at layering, like tons and tons of layers on a single track. It's usually them doing multiple takes, and they do a very good job of disguising all that, and I love that kind of stuff in music. From a recording perspective, Emily Haynes is on that album, all the core Broken Social Scene people. Solid, it's good stuff. Favorite album?
My turn? I would go for Tool Lateralus, I believe so. Yeah. I think because when I listened to that album, I guess wanted to be a full-time musician, but I really listened to it because it also got me into jazz, believe it or not. Just the drumming, the polyrhythms and everything, and I started doing my research, and everything got connected. And it connected me in a very spiritual way, not just musically, but lyrically as well. I think Maynard is amazing. what he does.
Have you gotten to see Tool before?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
I think we went together.
Nice.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, I think I went last year.
I think they played in Hamilton.
Yeah, it was Hamilton.
Yeah.
Would Tool come to St. John?
No.
Oh, where do they go? We're really good closest hub.
Portland, Bangor, 4 or 5 hours away.
Whoa,
Yeah, in the United
4 or 5.
States. Yeah, like they might, or Toronto, and it's easier for us to go to Maine than it would be to go to Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah. So all the major
Alright.
concerts, you have to go to like Montreal, Toronto, or down to States. Portland is usually pretty popular. I go see Primus there quite a bit. A lot of these are going to like anywhere else. In the
Yeah.
States.
Classic album, I'd say the Beatles Revolver. I don't know, I just can always go back to that album and like the Beatles give you such like a nostalgic feel. I just love from start to finish. That album's solid. Just like musicianship, the production, the harmonies. It's all good.
So the last question I'll ask you guys then is, what has been your favorite concert to date that you've seen, or what is your bucket list? And you can answer to both too if you like.
I'd say me and Mike went to Oshiega like 4 or 5 years ago, and maybe longer than that.
It's a long time ago.
We saw a block party there, and like it was the most fun I've ever had at a concert. It was raining, but like everyone was just like so into it. They sounded great, and yeah, that was just a fun time.
Yeah, we thought it'd be a funny idea before we were 18 years old. So, you know, we weren't legally able to drink in Toronto, but you go to Montreal and suddenly the drinking age is 1 year less, and suddenly we're legal, so that was a big deal. So we were being idiots that way, but also we thought it was a hilarious idea to all buy different, very high quality animal masks before leaving, and we all had separate roles. So Carmen was like this pug, I was like a pig, we had a gorilla and a tiger, the 4 of us. And we thought during block party it was raining heavily. We thought it'd be hilarious to put our masks on and like go into the pit. And we got smoked, but it was the best time ever.
Yeah,
It's a great time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I had fun
Good story
memories of that
it
though.
was a
also.
fun time.
You'll remember that forever. Those are good ones.
Yeah.
They were good.
Any bucket list concerts on your horizon?
Years ago, something.
Well, I'd like to see Herbie Hancock and Thundercat. I missed it because we were like we were on tour, so we missed that one. Like I think they were playing Montreal, I believe. Yeah.
Like I have a lot of favorite concerts, but like if we're talking like energy and like vibe wise, Streetlight Manifesto, it's just like insane. I don't know, like every
I had a
time you
couple
go
friends
there,
see them and they said that they're crazy.
it's
man.
nuts. Like, and now it's gotten to the point where like the fans are so hardcore that like everyone already sung like every lyric, like it was like a religious experience. But now everyone's singing like all the horn lines too, just like note for
Interesting.
note, just like screaming them out. Like it's just crazy, man. I
That'd
don't
be
know.
interesting to
It's
hear.
so fun. It's so fun, like from start to finish. It's just kind of like survival, but it's a blast. I love it.
So for all the people who are watching, if you are in St. John or you're an hour or so away, you should come out to the show tonight. It's at Callahan's. And for all of those who are also watching, where can people find your music?
Anywhere.
Just
Anywhere.
Google Dog Drive Mantis.
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes,
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp.
Right,
That's the
Bandcamp,
big one.
yeah, that's
Please
the big
go there first, me.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Bandcamp. Find us on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Apple Music, right? What else?
Everything.
We have a dogdrivemantis.com if you still use straight URLs these days.
Yeah.
It does. And it just goes to our Bandcamp. So
It's Bandcamp.
it's cool.
Trap.
It's all everything goes back to Bandcamp. If you find us on YouTube, it'll just put you back to Bandcamp.
Oh,
So
good. There you go.
There you
guys
go.
are all straight. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining.
thank
us
you.
tonight. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to the show.
Cool. Thanks for
Let's
having
do
us.
it.
Thank you. Bye, guys.